All right, good morning, Trade Pros. Sound check 1, 2 on YouTube. Hope you guys are having a great day. Bob, Lee, what's up, brothers and sisters, Trade Pro LaFems? I'm doing this webinar from home today. We had some internet issues at the office, and it's kind of more convenient. It's lonely in the office, anyways, so I'm doing it from home. So here we are. Okay, we got a great update scheduled for you today. If you guys want to see the home office setup, I wonder if I could turn the camera. I can turn the camera right now. You're just seeing my beard. All right, so there's my mug. You all must have a mug with your letter on it. That's the order flow. That's what the trading room sees at the moment. And then I got this cool monitor, this like pretty massive 34-inch ultra wide. That's kind of cool. And some of the news events that's going on, the notes we're going to talk about behind there. There's a few charts. So that's the setup. So we're at the new place, which is great. Let's get into it and let's talk about this. All right, so let's have a look at, first and foremost, the S&P 500 is down a little bit over yesterday's highs. The overnight high was established at 73 half. Prior day high was at 29.75 3/4. I had thought we'd go for a run to 3,000, to be honest with you. We picked up a lot of steam on the open, a lot of buying, but we rinsed out some sell stops to the upside. Now we're back down more or less at yesterday's open and at the 5-day value point. So the S&P 500, despite the bullishness, okay, it's seeing a lot of resistance at a familiar level. We've seen this resistance before. All right, what is causing some of this downside? Hang on, I think there's some comments. Keith, we're on YouTube. That's why, brother. All right, I'll show you guys in the trading room. I'll take you for a little tour of our new place if you guys like a little bit later on. So what's causing some of this downside? China and U.S. relationship is starting to sour even more. Donald Trump tweeted and said that the coronavirus. He went on a tirade on Twitter, a lot of tweets consecutively, one after another, and he said the coronavirus is causing pain and carnage, which I don't disagree with. I totally agree. He said the spread from the country all comes from the top, referring to President Xi in China. All right, they could have easily stopped the plague, but they didn't, he added. And S&P 500 futures slipped from that comment. Look, it's a pretty bold statement in a different way. Before, Donald Trump would just say China. They refer to the whole country. This is one of the first times that I recall, that he's tweeted President Xi directly. He says, it all comes from the top, open quote, end quote. Right? That's very important, and that really intensifies the battle. Those words are more significant than people would know, which is why the market's having a reaction. Now it's on President Xi. He's got to respond to that, and the market's fearing a response. What would the response be? We don't know. The unknown gets priced as bearish, and that's what's pushing some of this downside. That's what kind of stopped the rally dead in its tracks at these 75s. Otherwise, we'd be trading 3,000. I think we're seeing a lot of upside, and we should be seeing upside. Here's why. Another thing that came out this morning was initial claims, all right, for May 1st or 21st, 2.438 million jobs filed versus 2.4 expected. All right, slightly higher than expected, but what you got to know, and look, we got 38.364 million jobs lost, all right? And for the traders in the room, I'm going to show you that chart on YouTube. I'm going to flip the camera and show you that chart. All right, here's what it actually looks like, though. So you're going to say, holy moly, donut shop, that's a lot of jobs, but you got to see the trend. All right, that's what's important, is the decrease, okay? And I can actually write on this monitor. Let me show off a little bit here. All right, decrease to the downside of this trend. All right, and you're seeing that over the last 9 weeks, yeah, we're getting a historic amount, but we really only had 2 weeks of that kind of topping action. And then we're down now from 3.28. Those 2 weeks, April 2nd and April 9th, we're in the 6 million range. And we've been consistently lower throughout that. And more importantly, if you have a look at the initial continuing claims, this is how many we have on a continuous basis. Initial is how many new people are filing for unemployment. Continuous means these are people who are continuing to get claims. All right, they're at 25 million in total. All right, so even though we've had 38.634 million jobs lost, there's only 25 million continuing claims, with the 2.4 this week, which means only 22.5 of the past 36 million are actually still unemployed, which means 10 million people have gotten back to work. All right, so these continuing claims actually don't paint a bad picture at all. It's pretty rosy. And the trend is what's important. Yeah, the number's terrible. If I told somebody, look, you have 2.4 million job losses, the market's going to rally. If you just took it out of context, you would think that person's nuts. You would want to short the market. But if you look at it for a longer term, knowing that we've come from 6 point some odd million, it makes sense. Right? It's not that bad. And so the numbers weren't horrific this morning, and they're actually pretty positive. Starbucks regained store sales. I thought this was interesting. All right, I've been going to Starbucks occasionally in a social distance way. I don't touch anyone. I don't touch doors, and I don't touch people. No touching is the rule. All right, which makes for a really lame party, but no touching people, no touching each other. And so they've regained 60 to 65% of their U.S. store sales in the last week. All right, and 80% in China. Remember, China's gone through this pandemic before. They're on the post-pandemic phase, the unlocking, everyone kind of being acclimatized to a new world, but going back out about their business, going to work, shopping, etc. So they've resumed 80% of sales in China and 60 to 65% of U.S. comp same-store sales. If you think about that, that's a lot. All right. If you think about how much we fear the virus and where we are at the moment, 60 to 65% of the volume returning when not all the workforce is back is pretty positive. All right, and Starbucks, I know it's a famous coffee shop, and a lot of people can't start their day without it. And it's important to me to see that number. So that's a positive. That supports the market recovery. All right, in Asia this morning, Japan's down 0.2%, Hong Kong down half, China 0.6, India up 0.4. In Europe, at midday, markets are down across the board. London down 0.8, Paris down -1, Frankfurt down 1.4. But that's more on news flow from Trump and the China rhetoric. Okay. Markets are lockstep these days. They're in sync, not like the band. Also out of Europe, we got some market composite numbers, flash PMIs, services, and manufacturing. They all came out positive. Manufacturing being the big one in the European Union. Expected at 38, came out at 39.5 versus a previous of 33.4. That's good. Manufacturers coming back online. Services are coming back online. Flash PMIs are coming back online. Huge beats across the board in Europe. All right, in the United Kingdom, the UK, all right, we had 40.6 manufacturing, 27.8 services, and flash composite 28.9, all beating expectations much higher than the prior numbers. So you're starting to see economic information supportive of this recovery. Now, why isn't the market up on this news? Why are European markets down? We're already up pretty high, so we need a little bit of a pullback, especially on a Trump tweet like that. And so there's a little bit of tension, but all in all, markets are resuming the rally. It's quite impressive. In the United States, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ are down 0.8%. Crude oil is up pretty nice to $34 a barrel. It is now, where is it at the moment? It's even higher. 34.66 was the overnight high at the moment, and the open was around 34.27. So pretty strong bid in crude oil as the recovery continues and demand picks up. All right, gold is down 1.1%. Bitcoin's down 4.3, back below 10,000. This morning we had Philly Fed business outlook, which didn't do that well. It came up 43.1. All right, so businesses are still not as certain and a little bit more gloomy, but some economic recovery numbers are starting to surface. This morning at 9:45, we'll have the PMI composite flash. 10 a.m., Fed's Williams is speaking. Existing home sales and leading indicators all at the top of the hour. Look for a flurry of data coming up here. Top of the hour, watch out on your trades. All right. 10:30, natural gas inventory. 1 p.m., Fed's Clarita is speaking. And then this afternoon, we have Jerome Powell and Fed's Brainerd speaking on the Fed listens. How is COVID-19 affecting your community? So we're going to see if anything resurfaces about monetary policy there. It may or it may not. Important event to mark down your calendar today. 1 to 2:30, you got Fed speakers. If you got a sudden burst of volatility, it's because of that. You should be listening to the news wire or following the news somewhere. All right, 4:30 p.m., money supply and Fed balance sheet. We're going to see how much more quantitative easing the Fed has pulled off the past week. And that's where we're at for the second last day of the week. All right, I've had some technological issues leading into today, and so I'm happy to finally be at home with a good internet connection. The office is actually a better internet connection, but it was acting up, and I'm ready to rock. So that's it for today, YouTube. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your session. Ashish, We have an online store that's getting launched with the Day Trader shirt, a little Trade Pro Academy logo, and this hat that says LJH right here. This is because of Will. You guys could thank Will. He's like, hey, you should put LJH on there. It stands for Love, Joy, and Happiness. And they're going to be available. The store's already ready to go, but you know the shipping is a nightmare at the moment with COVID-19, so we had to delay the launch. So to answer your question, March 1st we're ready to go, and then we're tracking this COVID situation, and so we had to push it back. All right, it's not a good experience if you buy something you have to wait 4 or 5 weeks for it, and so we decided to save you from a terrible experience. But we're ready to rock, we're ready to pull the trigger. Everything's set up. We just gotta wait another probably a couple of weeks, so we'll be good to go. All right, I gotta test ship some things actually this week, and we'll go from there. All right, love you, YouTube. Be good. Have a great rest of your day. There's Will, the little blink and thumbs up. That's the guy that put the LJH on the hat. Love it. Created for us or for you and by you. So it's awesome. Love you guys, YouTube. Take care. Have a great day. We got to open up the old room, and I'll see you soon. Chat tomorrow. Close. Bye, guys.